Greg.
T-shirt,
Woo!
Jacqueline.
I just had a one-on-one with Greg. Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, excellent. Right on. Yosef, good to see you, buddy.
Hey, Greg.
All right. Oh my gosh, look at all these great folks. So, welcome, welcome. I always like to ask and start with show of hands, like, has everybody been using this thing, right? Okay. Everybody's got the plugin, right? Okay. I love you guys. Good job. So, what we're doing in this little series here is leveraging this plugin tool, and I'm going through like the top voted tools, which is like, where do you start? This week there's 47. There's 3,600 of these prompts. And we all know voting. I'm a reputation guy. Like all these guys got so many thumbs up. So I'm going to share my screen and we are going to dig in. And again, like Mark said, and like my room always is, like raise your hand or say, "Hey, Greg, interrupt me." It's all interactive, right? It's not just a lecture style. So let me share my screen. Everybody can see that?
Yes.
Excellent. So what I have done, if you'll notice at like the top here, I have a paid version, but I like to teach in the realm of the free world, right? So if anybody wants to see it work in the paid version, but I can work at the top and up here. So everybody knows um, this tool. So this thing has actually a few more got upvoted since then. But this keyword strategy, and hopefully that tickled you guys because it's not just an SEO plan, but everybody hopefully is doing business online, really. And so if you do, you kind of care about SEO and you kind of care about saying the things that people want to hear. And I'm certainly guilty in my own mind, my own world, my own experience in talking about what I want to talk about in the words that I use. And what I've learned over the years is that the terms that I think of and the terms that I use is not always what my customer is. Or when I help my clients, they come in and they say this word and they say that word. And we start taking a look, and it turns out that they don't search for maybe your jargony word that you use or that I use. They're searching for something else. So this helps us kind of meet them there. And does anybody want to volunteer to use their keyword and get some value, like run this exercise for you and then you get something to take home?
Hi, Bud. Jane.
Hey, there we go.
I've never used that, even though I have the ARPM or whatever it is, I haven't used it. So this is a good way to push me into it.
Oh, well, what a blessing. Thank you for speaking up. And I'm going to segue just a little bit since you said that. And not only for you all in the room, but the future viewers, right? So we record these, we release them on the YouTube channel, and they become an asset to me and hopefully to the community, right? So let's level set this. So AI is great. And it's the garbage in, garbage out. Never meant more in the world than an AI and then ChatGPT. So it gives you as good of answers as good as you ask it. And so the specific way to say that is that you create a prompt, okay, and that's what you feed this ChatGPT, right? And so the better prompt that you get, the better answer that you get. So you could just say something like really simple, like, what is the debt ceiling? And you'll get a generic answer. But when you craft things better, you get better answers. So you could say something like, as an expert copywriter talking about this field in a certain style, right? In an artistic style. So all these ways that you ask things and all these parameters. And now, doggone, these parameters are hard to remember. So that's why this tool is great, right? So if we look, I don't know, over here, like an article. So, ranking, you do the title, you do the post, right? Or this one would give you a calendar with keywords and styles. And so what happens is that it's going to do a strategy. It's going to do a content plan. You don't have to know all the things that would go in a content plan because you're using this prompt, and it simplifies the world to basically only giving it a keyword. So that said, this is what happens when you click on it. Now this little box changed from a blank screen into this pre-written thing. And so we can go in and we can figure out, what language we can pick, we can choose. We have, different tones, right? So we'll stay on default. And again, you can not only upgrade ChatGPT, you can upgrade AIPRM. Okay, so we're going to stay on default. And then you can pick, for this particular prompt, how many categories and subcategories. I like to run stuff at default. So that said, Jane, what would you like to use as a keyword that we're going to feed this for our session here?
All right. Let's start with accent reduction.
Like that?
Yeah.
So, and so tell it. So Jane is into speech and language, and part of her services. So accent, you mean like, so if somebody has like a heavy accent from another language or something, right?
Or it could be New York,
regional. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Absolutely. It could be foreign or regional. It's really about building that clarity to accelerate professional success.
Okay. Well, let's see what this thing says. And then we just press the button and let it go to work, right? Oh, look at this. Like, who could do this fast on their own, right? I'm going to have to scroll. So let's see.
So you're going to go through what all of that is, right?
Like, yeah.
Perfect.
And so what this is that so in keyword strategy, they start talking about like clusters, right? So like that was the one keyword, but then there's other like sort of like related ones around it, right? And elements to it. And so when we start talking about this, so be informational. So here would be like a suggested title, right? So if you were going to write a piece of content, a video, an article, a blog post, a social media post, right? And then here's some good wording on how to say that, right? So learn, like people like, that's a good one, right? Learn, discover, right? Find out. And then there's benefits. So I think right off the bat, I would use that one.
Yeah.
And then if we talk about courses, which that might be part of your world, right? Helping them, like a commercial application, right? That's a search intent. And then there's the thing for courses, reduction tips. That looks like another content piece for you, right?
So that 1, 2, 3, 4, that fourth column, from what I'm seeing, the title, that's really that key SEO,
right.
And then the description obviously just supplements, but it's that title, that fourth column, that's the gold, correct?
It is both. So in SEO, we would talk about a title is super important, but then the description is also for it. So that would be like, you could put that like on the page or in the article. So we don't want to dig too deep into SEO. I've done it for
Mm-hmm.
decades since we've been online since 2000, doing
Right.
internet stuff. But like meta descriptions on a page is a
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Stuff to get picked up, keywords to put in an article,
Mm-hmm.
maybe this is like a head and subhead, right? Is how
Uh-huh.
I might deploy this in a post, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or I would title my video this, and I would put this line right at the front,
Uh-huh.
of the YouTube description. That
Right.
makes sense.
Right.
Everybody tracking
Yep.
this here?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
But you don't
so,
have to like put it in quotes or anything like that. This just using these words are what SEO values.
yeah, and again, it depends on the deployment, like the tactical usage, right?
Uh-huh.
And so
Right.
when we talk about ChatGPT as an ideation tool, right?
Uh-huh.
Like,
Yeah.
look at all this stuff we're putting in
Yeah.
one
It's
keyword,
amazing.
you
Yeah.
know?
Fabulous.
And I was like, I'm just gonna skip down a little bit, right? Oh, online programs, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because
Mm-hmm.
that's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Issues.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I
Can I
love
use,
this.
can I
Love
add
this.
something, Greg?
Oh yeah, jump on in.
So meta description in web design or something or anything, it's every page has a meta description. So basically the title is the one that you see on the tabs at the top. So sign in or ChatGPT or confirm,
Like
that's
right
the
here.
title. Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. And then the meta description, that's the description that is underneath the link when you're searching in the search page. It has to be deployed in a certain way into the website. So Google can crawl, it's basically crawling into the website and it's checking the title and the meta description. So the meta description is something that would relate to the search later on. That's just going into the technical details of
I agree.
Excellent.
That is how you deploy it on a website application. Right.
Wow.
it. Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so we're just gonna keep scrolling down till we get to the end of this. There's other cool things like angles. Like you didn't have to think like, oh, give me benefits, give me
Right.
techniques, give me
Right.
programs, give me issues, give me mistakes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Give me
Mm-hmm.
testimonials. So this is why we love these AIPRM prompts, right? That are pre-written.
Yeah.
Gives us
Yeah.
it gives us in a nice grid.
Fabulous.
So this one got so far. So as a general use case, I think everybody knows like this thing is saved over here, right? As
Uh-huh.
one of your chat, right? Chat GPT. Um, the You can have it regenerate or continue. It looks like it might be
Uh-huh.
want to continue. So I'm going to click continue and see if it's going to
Oh my
work on
gosh.
filling this out, right?
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Um, Looking down now, look, it's going into American, British.
Yeah.
So pretty
Mm-hmm.
great stuff.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
and I will send you this one. There's all kinds of cool things you can do
Oh,
now.
you're
Like
so sweet. Thank you.
you can share a link to this chat, right?
Uh-huh.
And the other thing that I do, and I know there's now uh, tools and plugins, right,
Uh-huh.
that do some of this, but I'm neglect without saying that a best practice um, is to save off your prompts.
Yes.
So what can happen happened to me the other day. I I got back in here to use something and history unable to load at this moment, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So your stuff
Mm-hmm.
is not there, right? So we love to save that. I'll save that and I'll send that to you,
Thank you,
Jane.
Greg. Thank you so much.
And
Thank
so
you.
one of the
The history is the history lost forever, or just not available and comes back?
yeah,
I've
it
got that.
comes back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's Murphy's law, right? You go in, you're
Yeah.
like, oh man, I need to do that article. I got to turn it in today. And then, so
Yeah.
I worked a long time IT guy since the 90s. We worked in data recovery, and I was always like, CYA, like cover your anatomy.
Yeah. The other question I had was which paid version do you have? Do you have the paid Chat GTP or do you have the Chat Air? Or you have both of them?
I have only at this point the $20 a month upgrade for GPT Plus, it's called. So basically gives you access to GPT-4 and supposedly better availability, though availability's been pretty great in recent times, as I think that they've scaled the infrastructure engine,
Okay.
underneath this, right? But there's other layers. There's the API layer that a ton of people are using these days. I mean, it's just even in the open AI, like DALL-E, ChatGPT world, and then the AIPRM will probably upgrade that probably by next week, just to, well, it's both, for myself, because I'm using it now daily as a tool, right? And my responsibility as a teacher, to know also, and from my students here and my clients, right?
But Greg, what you showed us is that we could I have that comes up with the free version,
This
correct?
this is, yeah. So right at the
Yeah.
very top, when you have the free version, you can work in 3.5 or 4. And
Uh-huh.
so I did this specifically in 3.5, which is like
Mm-hmm.
the free access version, right?
Okay.
So you could theoretically, and this might be a good exercise, like go do this same one, right?
Yeah.
Yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
So
looking on the AIPRM site. Doesn't look like it's free anymore, unless I'm missing something. They say they took it away.
Yeah,
the
that was going to be my question too, Greg, because I realized that they're now looking at upgrading for a paid version in order to get full functionality.
well, isn't this fun? Yeah, that would be news to me. I was using the free version yesterday morning.
Yeah, I don't think they were taking it away, but I don't think because I have the free version. But when you go there, you'll see you can't get the free version anymore. They've taken it out. Like if you go to their site, you say where is the basic version, and they're like we don't offer it anymore. It's like we don't think the free version is of any value, so it's no longer
Oh my
available.
goodness. Well, that is I'm gonna put that in my debrief notes here.
So the other question I have on the AIPRM is that it looks like I tried it one time with a specific thing, and then I got a promotion at the end of it. So do you find that there's a lot in here where that will happen, where you use it and then you immediately get a promotion?
That is also new to me because I've been using it almost on a daily basis, and I haven't seen a promotion or um, the other thing. But yeah, talking about moving at the speed of light, this thing is changing, with new players, new offshoots, itself,
So,
by the week and by the day. So I'm not surprised
Well,
that some of
everything's
this
going to
stuff is
be monetized.
happening.
oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean everything's going to be monetized eventually. I mean that's just the way it rolls. So you have to be.
Yeah, they should. Certainly, that's their model. And Sam Altman, who's the CEO. Hey, anybody tell me one more time? We're doing like 2 minutes or something, right?
2 minutes
Okay.
exactly.
Um,
Oh.
he says, he used to say, "Oh, it's a horrible product. It's unreliable." And it's truly, it's a horrible product, and not everybody can get it. Even that sounds like they were even saying their regular one isn't good enough. Um, Unreliable. Surely you have to look at stuff, right? Like this is kind of straightforward, and uh, Jane's, skilled in the art, but even I could look at this and see like this looks pretty solid. But if you wanted to pull stats or you did other stuff, or you would always want to um, not just copy and paste, to just use what it tells you, right? So I would always, if I was going to copy and paste it, sometimes it's gold. I mean, sometimes it's like, oh, this is killer, I'm just going to use
It's
this.
often gold.
And I'll just put like, my name at least, right? Like if you listen to Google, gal, right? Put your name, in the content, right? Add something at the top or the bottom, right? And use it. So in the last minute, so the last thing I want to say, maybe for you guys all already know this, but this input stack, like per each chat, builds on itself. And so I've been using it for doing data and creating special stuff that'll like go feed and create custom Canva graphics. You can mail merge data into Canva, right? And so I will add like a data file, and then I'll tell it, use the data file I just loaded, and then apply, this prompt to it, and give me my output in such and such. So just so you guys know that it's not just like one thing and then you get your result, right? Or you could just regenerate it. It really builds. And that's how people at a high level be like, oh, I trained ChatGPT to write like I do. Well, they have this prompts that they upload, like, write like, a strategic marketing guy who's friendly and a teacher who gives value, right? Or way better stuff than that. But then all of a sudden, then when you ask it to do something, it does it in that form or with that data, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
it gets to know who you are and how you write, and that's another.
In the session, you'd have to reload it every time, like craft those prompts, put them in the front load of your session, and then say, go write an article as I would, using all the information I just gave you, right? So I just want to always like have in mind that, some of this is fundamentals and some of this is stretch goals and stretch usages, because you guys are all using it, right? So get some stuff and find some gold. And I steal stuff all the time. I mean, God bless. One of the deals with the social media is like whatever you like and whatever you pay attention to, it gives you more. So I got all of this great stuff coming, about ChatGPT, even
Amazing.
Instagram and other places, and new ways. And then like I teach, but I'm also a student. My mentors are showing me these great ways to fill it with data and then have it stored and then have it output in a format that you can just import into Canva and you can mail merge into graphics, right?
Wow.
Yeah, well, Canva's got AI built into it. I mean, there's 30 seconds. Did we miss anything? Anybody want to comment? Anybody have a question?
I do, but it'll take more than 30 seconds. I think I need to make a call with you, Greg, because
yes, it's always like that. I just like this morning, we're like, oh, this is great. So we're going to do emails and we're going to do another one. So
that was great. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it was great. And Jane, to wrap up in the last 10 seconds, I will send you this one. I'll see how this share a link thing works.
Yeah.
If not, I got it saved over in my Word doc.